And this is Mr. Swindley's new office.
My, but the assistant managers get younger every year. Good morning, Mr. Swindley.
Morning.
This is new Mr. Swindley. This is Norman Button, the porter.
Morning.
This is Miss McBride. She's going to take over for me while I'm away on my holidays.
Oh.
You better come away to the canteen. We'll meet Mrs. Edgley.
Mrs. Edgley?
The poor man's Fanny Craddock.
Norman, sometime in the dim, distant past, I asked you to get a simple notice typed.
It's all finished, Mr. Hunt.
Despite the fact that we have a typing pool, you decide to take 2 hours and 45 minutes doing it yourself.
That's all right, Mr. Hunt.
How many words does it run to?
12.
That's you're speeding up, Norman. That's 1 word every 10 minutes. Let's have a look. All staff are requested to replace carts after clocking on. Well, I suppose that's as near as we're going to get it. All right, alter it in ink and pin it up.
Right now, Mr. Hunt.
Not there. Next to the clocking on machine.
Oh.
You know, Norman, I've known some thickheads in my time, but it would be hard to find a thicker one than you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Swindley.
Anything wrong?
Oh, Mr. Hunt, I've suddenly remembered I've something
Not now,
to tell
Norman,
you.
run along.
But it's important, Mr.
Not
Hunt.
now. Will you run along? I want to speak to Mr. Swindley privately.
What?
Now. So, Swindley, you finally decide to honour us with your presence.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Now that you have a beautiful new office, I should think you ought to spend more time here. You know very well you had an appointment with this McBride. Where the devil have you been? It's nearly lunchtime.
But Mr. Hunt...
Look, she's been waiting to see you in ladies' underwear all morning.
Quite so. But I telephoned in. Didn't you get my message?
No.
Come in.
Excuse me, Mr. Hunt.
Will you run along, Norman?
But I've got a telephone message for you, Mr. Hunt.
All right, what is it?
It's from Mr. Swindley. He's going to be late this morning.
Thank you, Norman.
He was going to see his sister.
My what, Norman?
Your sister, Mr. Swindley.
Solicitor.
Oh, is she?
Norman, come on. Thank you.
We must forgive him, sir. After all, he is less fortunate than we.
I don't know he's less fortunate than you, Swindley. Do you realise you're 4 hours late for work? What the devil have you been doing at your solicitors?
I believe the legal term is learning something to my advantage.
Learning... Yes, well, listen here, that's no excuse. Learning something to your advantage?
Yes, sir.
You mean someone
Has remembered me.
in their will?
I just managed to catch sight of it in the personal column this morning. There, sir.
A beautiful bust can be yours.
No.
Oh,
A little lower
I
down.
see. Will Leonard Swindley, last heard of at 14 Union Street, please contact Messrs. Wheeler, and Wilcox, solicitors, where he will learn something to his advantage. Well, did you?
Did I what?
Contact Wheeler, and Wilcox.
Oh, yes, I did indeed, sir.
And who did you see?
Mr. Johnson. It appears that I had a somewhat errant uncle, Uncle Rafe. Or Ralph, as he preferred to be called.
Yes. Go on, Swindley.
In 1914, he went abroad with one of Kitchener's contingents. Since when, we've never heard from him.
Ah, missing, presumed killed, eh?
No. Deserted, presumed coward. It seems that he formed a liaison with a Frenchwoman of rather dubious reputation.
Oh, lucky devil.
Well, so it would appear. When she died, she left him her entire estate. And now he, in turn, has left it to me.
An estate in France, Swindley?
So Mr. Johnson has led me to believe. A villa and a vineyard in Vichy.
A vineyard? Oh, this gets better and better. Well, now, Swindley, you know, if there's anything you need, you've only got to call on me. After all, we are friends, aren't we?
Of course we are, sir. And always will be, I hope.
Yes. Well, Swindley, now, this must have given you a lot to think about. Look, it's a beautiful day. Why don't you go out and sit in the park for a while and decide what you're going to do with all this lovely money?
Well, that's very kind of you, sir.
But be careful, Swindley. Some people are like vultures.
Well, it's just like old times, isn't it, Miss Sinclair?
Indeed it is, Miss McBride. I see you're still a single girl.
I notice nobody's swept you off your feet yet.
Well, I always look upon myself as a career girl. I prefer my freedom.
Oh, you're very wise. At your age, I suppose you have to settle for what you can get. But when you're a wee bit younger, you can afford to be a bit more particular. Now, I'm waiting for a man who's sensitive, kind, warm, artistic, and if possible...
Short-sighted?
I was about to say, and if possible, have a wee bit money put by.
Are you not setting your sights a little high?
Luckily, some of us can still afford to be romantic. I know one day the door will open, and in he'll walk.
Good morning, ladies.
Mr. Swinley, may I introduce you to Miss McBride? She's my holiday relief.
Oh, I'm charmed to meet you, Miss McBride.
Oh, the pleasure's mine, Mr. Swinley.
Yes. Will you sit down, Mrs. Swinley?
Will you forgive me if I decline, Miss Sinclair? I'm luncheon bound. I've just called in to pick up a few crusts of stale farmhouse for Mrs. Edgley.
How admirable to be so thrifty.
They're for the ducks, Miss McBride.
Here, Mrs. Swinley. I put them some of my homemade jam roll in. That should go down well.
The ducks along with it.
You'll excuse me, ladies. I've no doubt I shall be seeing a lot more of you, Miss McBride. Goodbye.
Seems a delightful fellow.
He'll not be with us much longer.
What do you mean, Mrs. Edgley?
Haven't you heard? Always been left a fortune.
Fortune?
Yes, an estate in France, about half a dozen vineyards, a couple of chateaux, and they do say that there's talk of a yacht.
It couldn't happen to a more delightful man.
Excuse me. Is the seat taken?
No, help yourself.
Oh, thank you. Attractive little creature.
I beg your pardon.
I said an attractive little creature. Your companion.
Oh, Totty, yes, she's ever so friendly.
Ah, Totty, yes.
Are you fond of dogs?
Yes, indeed.
Have you got one?
No, but just lately I've been seriously considering getting myself a little canine friend, such as your Totty.
Oh, you're going to get a poodle.
No, my own choice would be a little Scotty. I admire their pluck and intelligence. An aunt of mine had one.
Oh, really?
Yes. She used to balance biscuits on the end of her nose.
Such a funny lady.
I was referring to the dog.
Yes, well, I think we'd best be going now. Come on, Totty, walk it.
Hello, Mr. Swinley.
Oh, hello, Norman. I'm glad to see that you appreciate the awakening beauties of nature.
Yes, I've always enjoyed bird watching, Mr. Swinley.
And I, Norman. Ah, there's my little friend Totty again.
Very nice, Mr. Swinley.
She's a friendly little creature.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes. Between you and me, Norman, I'm thinking of acquiring one of my own.
You won't regret it, Mr. Swinley.
Oh, I should have done it long ago.
Although I wouldn't rush into it, Mr. Swinley.
Oh, don't worry. I shan't rush into anything, Norman. I've given the matter considerable thought, and I've set my mind on an Aberdonian. The most faithful of them all. Ah, that sounds like Pablo. Can I tempt you to a drink on a stick?
Do they do mild and bitter?
Very droll. I'll be back in a minute.
Righto, Mr. Swinley. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Norman.
Are you looking for someone?
No.
Would you like to sit down?
No, I must be pressing on.
Mr. Swinley will be back in a minute.
Oh, now you mention it, it would do no harm to take the weight off my feet for a wee while.
He's just gone for a raspberry ruffle.
Really?
You're Scots, aren't you?
Oh, you've noticed. What an observant boy.
Here, are you from Aberdeen?
No, a wee place called Inverurie, about 20 miles from Aberdeen.
Oh, what a pity.
Why is it a pity?
Well, Mr. Swinley's just told me he's decided to get married.
Married? You sure?
Yeah, and he said the woman of his choice had to come from Aberdeen.
Aberdeen?
Definitely.
Well, how lucky for me. I only live in the suburbs.
You said it was 20 miles away.
They're awful big suburbs up there.
Oh.
Norman, when does your lunch hour finish?
Oh, I've got plenty of time yet.
Have you no more typing to do?
What? No, the last lot took 2 3/4 hours. Yes. Here, are you trying to get rid of me?
Now, whatever gave you that idea?
Oh.
Hello, Mr. Swinley.
Good afternoon. Oh, it's Miss
McBride.
McBride, of course. A childish pleasure, but very refreshing to the palate. Norman was here a moment ago.
Oh, yes, I've just been having a very interesting talk with him.
Oh, congratulations. That's quite an achievement.
He tells me, you're seeking a companion.
Yes, yes, that is so. After all, a life shared is a life enriched.
Oh, yes, indeed. You're looking for an Aberdonian, I believe.
Yes, that would be my first preference. Perhaps you could assist me.
Oh, I could. Indeed, I could. You see, Inverary is only 20 miles from Aberdeen.
Is that so?
Excuse me, I'll go and make a telephone call. Don't go away.
Extraordinary.
Hello, is that you, Father?
Well, it's no Andy Stewart.
Listen, I've some wonderful news.
You mean you're emigrating at last?
Now be serious. I think I'm on the verge.
For God's sake, jump.
You don't understand. I found a man. He's just been left a fortune, practically half of France.
Grab him. Don't let him escape like all the others.
Get on the midnight train, Father. I'm coming off the shelf at last.
Come in. Oh, it's you, Mr. Hunt.
Yeah, why, who are you expecting?
Miss McBride.
Ah, yes, I noticed you've been taking quite a shine to you lately.
Since yesterday, she's pursued me everywhere. Now I know how Richard Crumble feels.
Kimball.
What?
Richard Kimball.
Right. Doesn't seem to be anywhere that I can go without her popping in.
I could tell you one place.
Yeah, please. She's even invited me to dinner tonight. And made it very, very difficult for me to refuse.
Well, I warned you, Swindley.
I can't understand why she's so persistent.
Look, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but it's not you she's after, it's your money.
Ah, I see.
You'll never believe it, Swindley, but there are some people whose whole attitude can be changed by a few pounds.
It's a sad reflection on human nature.
Ah, yes. One slip of money and some people are creeping and crawling and toadying up. Oh, it's nauseating.
Come in.
Where should I put this, Mr. Hunt?
Oh, not now, Norman.
But you said to bring it to Mr. Swindley as soon as possible.
But that's your chair, Mr. Hunt.
Swindley, it is now yours. Come on, sit in it, try it. That's it. There you are.
Thank you, Norman.
Anything else, Mr. Hunt?
That's very thoughtful of you, sir.
Not at all, Swindley, not at all. Now then, where were we?
We were just reflecting on the frailties of human nature.
It's my turn to take up Mr. Swindley's tray. I cooked it. I'll take it.
But it's no trouble, I'm going that way.
Take your hands off that tray.
Mrs. Edgley, it'll do you no good.
What won't?
Creeping.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of creeping to Mr. Swindley.
Then why did you say you'd take up hot croissant with his morning coffee?
For the same reason that you offered to darn all his socks.
Oh, Bella Margarita.
So beautiful. Do you not think you're a trifle early for Ascot?
Oh, do you like it? It's just something I picked up in my lunch hour.
I should put it back again, love, before they miss it.
Do you not think it throws too big a shade over my face?
Oh, no, it could never do that.
You like the dress?
Oh, yes. Wherever did you get it?
Oh, it's a model. They only made 3 of them.
They knew what they were doing.
Ah, ladies.
Oh, hello, Mr. Swindley.
Miss McBride. Mrs. Edgley. About lunch.
Yes, I would just bring it down, Mr. Swindley.
Isn't it a lovely day, Mr. Swindley?
Yes, yes. Very pleasant, Mrs. Edgley. Unfortunately, I have to go out.
It's beautiful in the park, Mr. Swindley.
No doubt. I have to go and see my solicitor. Yes. Did you wish to see me, Miss McBride?
I think it's the other way round, Mr. Swindley.
What is?
You haven't said anything, Mr. Swindley.
About what?
Do you not notice anything different?
Different?
She's got a new rig out on. Hat, dress, gloves, bag, and fur.
And that's only what we can see.
Forgive me, Miss McBride, a charming ensemble.
I knew you'd notice as soon as you came in.
Quite so. Well, I don't want to be late for my appointment.
Oh, don't forget tonight.
No. 9 o'clock sharp. Excuse me, ladies.
Father, are you not ready yet?
I'll be in a minute.
It's nearly 9 o'clock. Mr. Swindley will be here any minute.
Well, lassie, what do you think of your father? How does he look?
Like an advertisement for porridge.
You cheeky wee devil. Now listen, your Mr. Swindley's got to realise he's marrying into a fine old fighting clan.
For the last time, Father, will you get it into your head he hasn't proposed yet?
Maybe not, but with a few drinks inside him, we'll clench the deal before the night's out.
And you can put those away.
Hey, there's one. I'm going to get the man a bit skittle before dinner. Just to set his Sassenach blood to tingling.
Father!
Good. Send in my future son-in-law. Lie you there, my wee beauties. Just for a wee while. Then you and me will vitalise the man.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Swindley, this is my father.
Delighted to meet you, Mr. McBride.
Jimmy to my friends and family. Yeah, lassie, away you to the kitchen. Your man and me have a lot to talk about.
Aye, I'll see you to the dinner. I hope you're partial to cockally.
A wonderful cook, my wee lassie. It's a valuable asset in a woman, don't you agree?
Oh, I do. Yes, I do indeed.
Well, man, now you'll be taking a wee dram with me.
Oh, thank you. Just a wee Doc and Doris, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well.
May I compliment you on your highly coloured kilt?
The McBride tartan. It's centuries of tradition woven into it. Years of bloody battle against the murdering English invaders. Say when?
Well,
The night's young, there's no sense in overdoing it.
True. Moderation in all things.
My sentiments entirely. Here's to peace between our nations.
I'll drink to that, sir.
Sit you down, Leonard, son.
I beg your pardon.
You were on my pipes.
Of course, your pipes. Do forgive me.
Maybe you'd like a bit tuned before dinner.
Well, perhaps later.
That's a promise. Well, Leonard, I'm sure you and me have plenty to talk about.
Yes, I suppose we have.
Aye. Fiona's told me all about you.
Really?
Everything I've heard of liked.
Oh, well, that's very gratifying.
Aye. Well,
Well,
have you no comment to make?
it's a very fine sideboard.
You're a caution and no mistake. Fiona has been telling me all about a certain conversation you had with her in the park.
Oh, that! Oh, yes.
You haven't changed your mind about wanting a companion.
No, of course not. In fact, the sooner the better.
You'll never regret it, Leonard, never regret it. 7 and 6pence well spent.
7 and 6?
The license, Leonard, you need one to make it legal.
Oh, that's a mere formality.
God, you're a comic. Another dram?
Thank you.
Say when. Well, another. Here's to the pair of you. May you spend many happy years together.
Thank you. Most kind of you to show such an interest.
Oh, it's only natural. You see, Inverkeithing is just 20 miles from Aberdeen.
So I've heard.
Oh, Leonard, I'm sure he made a wise decision.
Oh, I think so, yes. After all, I can offer a good home, kindness and affection.
What more can anybody ask for?
In return for which, of course, I should want loyalty, obedience, and companionship.
You can depend on it, depend on it.
I'll be lifting the dinner in a minute. Is everything going all right?
Couldn't it be better? Run home and try. Hooked. Hooked. Leonard, here. Do you mind if I give you a bit of advice?
Please do.
Begin as you mean to go on. A firm hand from the start.
Show who's master, eh?
That's it, Leonard, that's it.
Yes. I've been wondering where I should allow her to sleep.
I should have thought a bedroom would be the obvious place.
Oh, no. I couldn't possibly allow her into the bedroom.
You're making a big mistake there, son, believe me.
Well, perhaps. Of course, I expect as our relationship progresses, I may in time allow her to curl up at the foot of the bed. I thought that perhaps in the summer she might care to sleep in the garden. After all, they shouldn't be pampered. One good square meal a day, plenty of exercise, and a cuff across the nose if they misbehave, eh?
You know, Leonard, I'm beginning to think you have a very Victorian outlook.
Oh?
You don't want any little ones?
Well, I certainly hadn't planned on any. I realize that these things may occur, but I shouldn't keep them in any case.
You wouldn't keep them. What do you propose to do with them?
Oh, I'd give them away. After all, there's always somebody willing to provide a good home. To tell you the truth, I don't think I can afford to keep more than one dog at a time.
Ah, man, I'm afraid you're a very... Dog? What dog?
Well, my little companion that we're talking about. The Aberdonian I intend to buy.
Aberdonian?
Dinner's ready. I've a wee surprise for you.
I have one for you.
Now look here, Mr. McBride. If there's been any trouble, I assure you I'm certain it is not a swindler's doing.
Once and for all, my daughter's not coming in today, nor any other day. And if you want to know why, you ask your Mr. Swindley. The man's a rogue, a liar, and a whey-faced, dog-loving misogynist.
Now you listen to me. Mr. Swindley is one of the most competent, conscientious, and best-loved assistant managers it has ever been my pleasure to work with. Goodbye.
Morning, Mr.
Morning, Swindley.
Everything all right, sir?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Just McBride's getting a little bit offensive.
Moody race, the Scots. Do you know that hardly a word was spoken last night after they'd served the cockaleekie?
Really? Oh, never mind about that. Come and sit down in your new chair.
Thank you.
That's it. Oh, by the way, telephone message arrived for you.
Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Oh, dear.
Bad news?
General de Gaulle has struck again. It appears that after tax deductions, all that is left of my estate is 2 sheep, 100 weight of local cheese, and a vat of rather dubious rosé wine.
Is that all?
Oh, I'm afraid so.
Norman! Yes, Mr. Hunt? Stand up, Swindley.
I beg your pardon?
Stand up. Take that chair back to my office. Righto, Mr. Hunt.
Excuse me, your socks, Mr. Swindley.
Oh, thank you, Miss Sinclair.
I'm sorry, but I've had no spare time whatsoever. And don't you think this is going to alter my holiday arrangements? A fortnight I've booked for and a fortnight I'm going to have.
Now see what you've done. Miss Sinclair.
He that is down needs fear no fall. He that is low, no pride. Ah, Mrs. Edgley, I suppose you've heard too.
Don't worry, Mr. Swindley. What you've never had, you never miss.
That's a wise homily.
You feel better when you've had your coffee and digestives.
Digestives? I seem to recall a promise of some hot croissant.
Well, you've got digested. You know what they say, Mr. Swinley?
Yes. What you've never had, you never miss.